What's up, YouTube? It's Palefree. This is the Red Sea Reefer 250 now. These Asterina starfish are definitely getting on my nerves. Somebody said something about it on Instagram. They were like, how do you deal with it? And I'm like, I don't. I really don't. They just multiply. I swear to God. These things are like Gremlins. I don't know if you know what that movie is. If you don't, then I'm showing my age here. But they are Gremlins. You know, you add a little bit of water to them and then bam. You know, I just picked these out because they were at the top of the tank. Really trying to get the flow going good in the tank. It seems that's okay. I love the Tunze pumps because these are 6055s modified to be 6095s. Whenever I say that, they got wide cages on them. And they're running really, really low as far as power is concerned. I mean, this knob's turned almost all the way down. That one's turned almost all the way down. This one's about 3/4 of the way up, and pulse is, you know, quarter down or whatever. But their flow has always been something that I've had a problem with. And just getting it figured out and yada, yada. The Tunze pumps for sure are workhorses. Easily the best pumps that I've ever had because they're so simple. You put them in the tank, you set the settings, and you're done. But flow is something that I've never quite got down. And I actually moved the pumps down a little bit just because my screen lid over here gets a ton of salt creep on the screen. If I don't clean it very often, that gets pretty annoying pretty quick. So what I was saying was the Tunze pumps are workhorses. They just work. I wish that the controller or, you know, like you got the Neo 5s that work with an app. Of course, the Vortex that work with Mobius. I wish that Tunze had something similar to that. And yeah, if I had an Apex or a GHL or even probably a Reef Keeper at this point, you could probably program different flow patterns into those, but I don't. I just have the generic Tunze controllers. But flow is something I've always just had an issue getting dialed in. And I don't know if I attribute that to losing a couple heads of this coral over here, which is near and dear to my heart because I've had this thing. It's one of the first corals that I ever bought. And some of the heads that are gone down here, I guess they probably weren't getting, you know, adequate flow or enough light. And that's kind of why they went. But there's, I don't know, there's quite a few heads on that coral. And I hate to see it the way that it is. But the other Euphyllia over here in this section, since I moved the pump to the side, I like it to be on the back, but I figured I'd try something different. I moved it to the side. A bunch of the Euphyllia definitely look better. Part of the other concern was this digitata was just getting hammered with flow. So I've kind of angled it up now, and hopefully some of the flow won't hammer it so bad, and maybe it likes it, but it's a lot retracted at the moment. I did notice, I did turn some of the flow down because the zoanthids were just getting blown around pretty severely. This torch head looks like it doesn't like where it's at. So, but these other two torches, this one's not opened up as much. This one is opened up quite a bit. Gonopora is getting hammered with flow. Otherwise, I'm pretty happy with everything so far. The anemone hasn't moved. You know, ironically enough, I'm hoping I picked a good spot for it. I fully expected to put it in the tank and then have it move around the tank, and it hasn't. It's stayed there. It's opened up. The bubble tips on it are looking absolutely amazing. Definitely a showstopper when it comes to the tank because of the orange that's in there, considering most every corals, we know this, they're green. You got a lot of green in the tank, One thing that's really caught my attention as of late is auto water changes. And I don't know how I could really accomplish this, but I've been doing some research on it. I don't know if I'm going to do this because I could easily just do weekly water changes, but the idea of an auto water change seems grand to me, and I just got a fresh box of salt, and salt lasts me forever. I was looking at the GHL Maxi, but apparently they don't make that anymore. The Neptune Dose, out of the question, don't have an Apex. A couple of like cheap pumps on some timers from Amazon. Didn't really like that idea. So I'm thinking maybe two more Kamoer X1s, the Bluetooth dosing pumps, and I may try to get a couple more of the gallon water containers that I have, and maybe I could just spread out a gallon water change over the course of a week. I get it, a gallon's not a lot. The other thing is maybe I could get 2 5-gallon buckets down here, build something that covers them up, do a 5-gallon water change through the week. Let me know what your thoughts are. If you do water changes, automatic water changes, let me know what your thoughts are. Obviously, if this tank was on this wall, I would have this plumbed up to my containers outside. Now, the issue is I don't know where I would put the wastewater, but if it was on this wall, I would definitely be mixing up salt water in the garage in one of the 40-gallon containers and doing automatic water changes, because it would be just a lot easier that way. The other thing is, I don't know enough about it, I haven't done enough research, is once you have the salt water mixed up, I don't think I need to heat it because it's going to be such a small volume. And number 2, do I need to have a pump in it to keep mixing? I don't think that I do. Let me know what you think about that in the comments below. As I wrap up this video, I did enter another raffle from Thirsty's Reef. It's called a unicorn frag. It's an SPS frag. It was $15. I think 10 spots, something like that. What do I have to lose? $15. Very interested to follow Thirsty's Reef now that I won the Colorado Sunburst, which was probably, it was just a lucky thing for me. I mean, it was 1 out of 30 spots. I bought 1 spot. But yeah, I'm going to pay attention to what he's got going on. If it's, high-end SPS, I'm not interested in that because I don't really want to torture the coral, because we know my history with SPS corals. But if you're on Instagram and you're not following Thirsty's Reef, you need to be. And again, if you like to gamble a little bit, enter one of the raffles. Why not? Whew, long-winded there. So with that being said, I'm still looking for Harlequin shrimp. Haven't sourced. I know that there's some out there. Just haven't pulled the trigger yet. Again, I think I'm going to travel to a semi-local fish store. It's an hour away, and see if they have any, or call them before I go to see if they can get me one. But aside from that, be sure to check me out on Instagram at Pelfrey's Reef. Check out the website at pelfrey.net, and I'll see you on the next one. The sound of that water reminds me of waves, and it's amazing. Can't wait to make it back to the beach.